In this video, I'm going to discuss some coverages that every medical equipment supply store should at least be aware of to protect their business. And then I'm going to give you my recommendation on where you could go to get the right insurance. So if you sell medical supplies to hospitals, clinics, or maybe directly to consumers, or maybe you own a startup or established medical equipment rental company, there are a lot of different liability exposures, and you'll definitely be glad that you have the right insurance in place to avoid out-of-pocket financial risk. So first and foremost, you want to consider general liability. So this is going to cover your common slip, trip, and fall hazards, maybe inside of your retail store. So it's going to cover third-party bodily injury and property damage. And it's usually one of the first coverages that you think of when considering business insurance. Now, if you maybe rent medical equipments like wheelchairs, scooters, canes, walkers, things of that nature, we have a client that does medical equipment rentals inside for people inside of their private homes and sometimes at large events and conferences. You're definitely going to need some sort of liability if you are doing that type of service, so rental services, especially if you're doing special events. Likely the event organizer is going to at least require liability insurance from you. Next, you want to consider a business owner's policy, or also known as a BOP. So what this is going to do, it's going to combine your general liability with your business's commercial property. So you could get coverage for your inventory or equipment, or maybe a building that you own or a building that you lease. Also, you could get add-on coverages such as business interruption insurance. So what this is going to do, if your business, let's say, had a fire in your retail store and you weren't able to sell merchandise and you had to temporarily close, this is going to help cover loss of revenue, loss of income. And it's also going to help cover day-to-day operating expenses, which would help you get back up and running if you did have a temporary closure. I did a video specifically on business interruption coverage. I'll leave a link above that you could go ahead and check out if you are interested in finding out some more information on that specific coverage. So next, you want to consider commercial auto insurance. So if your business has vehicles registered in your business name, or let's say you do drop-off deliveries, like I just mentioned, we have a client who basically rents medical equipment like wheelchairs, scooters, like I mentioned before, and they go out to special events and do deliveries for short-term rentals. So if you're doing that type of services, if that's part of your business, then you're definitely going to need commercial auto. Next, you want to consider possibly umbrella insurance. So for instance, let's say a medical equipment supply store owner purchases general liability, and he feels that his coverage is enough for his shop, but you worry or fear that a high claim may exceed your general liability limit. You could consider an umbrella that would go on top of your general liability to basically raise your limits so that if you had a fear or a worry about a high claim exceeding your general liability, this would give you some sort of peace of mind. Last, but definitely not least, you want to consider workers' comp. So if you have employees that are working for you, or you're considering hiring an employee or employees, you're definitely going to want to consider workers' comp. It's required in almost every single state, and it helps with costs associated with medical costs, loss of income, rehabilitation costs if your employee suffered a work-related injury. So you definitely want to make the investment into workers' comp if you are hiring or already have employees working for you. So now that you know some of the coverages that are going to help to protect your medical equipment supply store, I want to give you a recommendation on where you could go to get the right business insurance. And the next steps to coverage is as simple as a few clicks below. You could click the links below in the description box, fill out a quick form, and one of the members of our team will follow up with you. Or feel free to give our agency a call. We always recommend talking things through with an agent or broker to make sure that you get the right insurance plan for you. Our telephone number is 858-277-1585. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the other side.